Medieval era. Ceylon of whence nutrition were common before the traditional marine insurance in the medieval times, in which an investor lent his money to a traveling merchant, and the merchant would be liable to pay it back the ship returned safely. In this way, credit and sea insurance were provided at the same time. The rate of interest for sea loans was high to compensate for the high risks involved. Merchants taking sea loans had to pay the high interest charge to the lenders for having borne the sea risks as opposite to sharing this profit, which is how things were done when merchants carried goods by land. Since sea loan involved paying for risks, the poet Gregory IX condemned the practice as usury in his Detectal Novitiate of 1236. Decretals 5 and 19. The Commenda contracts were introduced when Pope Gregory IX commended the sea loan. Under Commenda contracts, capitalists provide funds to an entrepreneur to carry out a trade as partners in the enterprise, sharing the profit, but both the sea commercial risks belong to capitalists. In the 14th century, Italian merchants introduced cambium contracts where brokers had to buy the bill of exchange from the lenders, merchant bankers. Since the bills of exchange were available and payable no matter what, they did not cover any sea risks at all. The hedges against the sea risks they now brought. Merchants invented insurance loans that were very close to today's marine insurance, i.e., the insurance or broker remained on the land too. The insurance goods are sent unaccompanied, and the loan is due not upon the safe arrival of ship but upon the safe arrival of goods. In 1293, Dinis, king of Portugal, advised the interest of Portuguese merchants and sent up by mutual agreement a fund called the Bolsa de Comarico, the first documented from the marine insurance in Europe. Approval on 10 May 1293. In the 13th and early 14th centuries, the European traders traveled to sell their goods across the globe and to hedge the risk of theft forwarded by the captain or crew, also known as resume zenitium. However, they realized that sailing this way invoice not only the risk of loss, i.e., damage, theft, or life of trade as well, but also they cannot cover the wider market. Therefore, the trend of hiring commissioned bases against across different market emerged. In 1310, the Chamber of Assurance was established in the Flemish commercial city of Bourges. The traders sent export the goods of the against who on the behalf of traders sold them, sending goods to the agents by road or sea involves different risks, i.e. sea to storm. Pirate attack goods may be damaged due to poor handling while loading and unloading etc. Traders exploited different measures to hedge the risks involved in the exporting. Instead of sending all the goods on one ship trucks, they used to send their goods over number of vessels to avoid the total loss of shipment. If the vessels was caught in a sea storm, fire period of came under enemy attacked, but this was not good practices due to prolonged time and effort involved. Insurance is the oldest method of transferring risk, which was developed to migrate trade business risks. Marine insurance is very important for international trade and makes large commercial trade possible. The risk hedging instrument of ancestors used to migrate risks of medieval times were sea marine mutual loans, commander contract and bill of exchange. Neil 1972 highlights that commander contract and sea loans were almost the closest substitute of marine insurance. Furthermore, he pointed out that for a half century, it was considered that the first marine insurance contract was floated in Italy on October 23, 1347. However, Professor Federigo found that the first written insurance contracts date back to February 1343 in Pisa. Furthermore, Italian traders spread the knowledge and use of insurance into Europe and the Mediterranean. In the 15th century, wood policy for insurance contract between standardized. By the 16th century, insurance was common among Britain, France, and the Netherlands. The concept of insurance outside native countries emerged in the 17th century due to reduced trade or higher cost of local insurance. According to Kingston 2011, Lolliet Coffee House was the prominent marine insurance marketplace in London during the 18th century, and European American traders used the marketplace to insure their shipments. The rules of regulation of insurance were adopted from Italian merchant known as law merchant, and Italy these rules govern the marine insurance across the globe. In case of dispute, policy writer and holder choose one arbitrator is, and these two arbitrators choose a third impartial arbitrator, and parties were bound to accept the decision made by the majority. Because of the inability of his informational court to enforce their decision. In the 16th century, traders turned to formal courts to resolve their disputes. Especially courts were set up to solve the disputes of marine insurance, like in Genoa. Insurance regulation passed of imposed fire on the did not obey the Tsar's prohibition of usually sea loans commander in 1369. In 1435, Barcelona ordinance issues marketing it mandatory for traders to turn to formal courts in cases of insurance disputes. In Vicence 3, Consul de Martinity specialized court to deal with marine insurance were set up in 1436. In 1520, the Miracanite court of Genoa was replaced by more specialized court rota, which not only followed the merchant customers but also incorporated the legal laws in it. Separate insurance contract, i.e., insurance policy not bundled with loan or other kind of contracts, were invented in Genoa in the 4th century, as were insurance pools backed by pledge of landed estates. The first known insurance contract dates from Genoa in 1347, and the next century maritime insurance developed widely and previously were individually various with risks. This new insurance contract allowed insurance to be separated from investment, a separation of a rule that first proved useful in marine insurance. The first printed book on insurance was the Legal Treatise on Insurance and Merchant, based by Pedro de Santarem, written in 1488 and published in 1552. Sum of insurance Ancient era. Information of some ancient era. In December 1901 and January 92 at the Decreation, archaeologist Jacques Morgan, Father Jean Vincent specialist of found a 2.2 meter tall basalt or diorite still the precious indescribed with 4,130 lines of cuneiform law dictated by Hamburi of the first Babylon empire in the city. Thus, Persia under the Kora's destiny the same location of the against city thus of the ancient empire. Codex Hamburi law 100 stipulated repayment by a debitor of a loan to a creditor on a schedule with a maturity date certified in written contractual term. Law 101 and 102 stipulated that a shipping agent factor or ship character was only required to repay the principal of the loan to their creditor in the event of a net income loss or a total loss due to an act of God. Law 103 stipulated that an agent factor of character was by force measured received of their liability for an interior loan in the event that the agent factor of charterer was the victim of them during the term of the charter party upon provision of the affidavit of the theft to their creator. Codex Hammurabi Law 104 stipulated that claim for losses filled by agents, factor and charters without receipt were without standing. Law 126 stipulated that filing a false claim of a loss was punishable by law. Law 235 stipulated that a shipbuilder was liable within 1 year construction for the replacement of an authority basis of the ship owner that was lost during the term of a charter party. Laws 236 and 237 stipulated that a sea captain, ship manager or charterer were liable of the replacement of a lost vessel and cargo to the ship owner and the consignors respectively that the negligent operating during the term of charter party. Law 238 stipulated that a captain, manager or charterer that saved a ship from total losses was only required to pay one half the value of the ship to the ship owner. Law 240 stipulated that the owner of the cargo ship that destroyed a passenger ship in a colony was liable for the replacement of the passenger ship and any cargo it held upon provision for an affidavit for the coinage by the owner of the passenger ship.